investing should be left to professionals, or can everyone take control of his own investments?
I strongly believe that anybody can take control of their own investments. Here's the reason. When I started in the investment industry, it wasn't a closed shop, but there were a lot of barriers. And the main barrier actually was informational. Now you think about the information revolution we've had over the last 10 years, let's say. You think of the ability via company websites or a bundle of other interesting news and views sites out there where the average private investor can access all sorts of interesting primary information like that as quickly as the professionals can. Information is the key. If you can lower those barriers to information, then you can do an awful lot. Now, here's the trouble. You may have the information, but then you've got to interpret it. And this is where I think individual investors need to do a little bit of work in order then to allow them to have potentially some successes on the financial markets. So what do I mean by a little bit of work? Well, it's back to this knowledge of knowing what you're investing in. And knowing that actually it's not about hearing what XYZ is saying or reading on some website that this sounds good. That may be right advice, may be correct advice, but it's actually getting to the information yourself and thinking about it from your own perspective. If I could offer some advice, it would be always look at cash flow rather than earnings. It's a much better guide to a company's worth. Dividends are always great signalers of company strength. And third, look at what management is saying. You know, it's so important to read what they're saying and try and understand, are they optimistic or pessimistic? And even better, compare it to what they were saying a year ago and compare and contrast those messages. Now, as always with investment, you can do as much work as you like. There's never a limit to the amount of work you can do. But really, through a bit of enthusiasm and a little bit of time, you can form a view on a company. Why not look at the corporate earnings presentation document? Why not go and have a look at the latest webcast of their results? Sure, it takes a bit of time. It may take 2 or 3 hours to come to a view, but the payoff you get and the insight you get, it more than justifies it. If you can't dedicate a few hours to the important subject of your investments, then why on earth are you bothering? When you can spend 90 minutes watching a football match or whatever it might be. 90 minutes on an investment, I reckon you can learn an awful lot and will really help you decide whether it's a good or a bad thing to do. Sure, you need a bit of luck, and sure, you need some broader appraisal of what's happening in the world. But these things can come over time. I'm really passionate that individuals can make a difference themselves and should. You just need that enthusiasm and willingness to do a bit of work.